Good afternoon, boys and girls, and welcome back to another math session. In this session, we're going to discuss how to calculate the volume of rectangular prisms. Now, the purpose of calculating the volume of any object is to see how much capacity the actual object can contain without overflowing. The formula we're going to utilize to calculate the volume is V equals the length times the width times the height. And then remember, at the end we have to put our units in cubic units based on your unit of measurement. For example, feet cubed, inches cubed, centimeters cubed, things of those nature. So the first problem we have here is we have a rectangular prism that has 3 dimensions included. So to calculate the volume for this, we can just go ahead and multiply the length times the width times the height. So the first thing we're going to write out is our formula, which is V equals length times width times height. The second step we're going to proceed with is we're going to just input our given dimensions. So write this out again. V equals, what's the length? 7/8 times the height, which is 1/2, times the width, which is 5/8. And now we can go ahead and proceed. Now we just need to simplify this by multiplying this out. Well, I'm checking to see if I can cross simplify anywhere, and I can't. So I'm just going to multiply straight across. V equals 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 5 is 35. Now my denominators, I'm going to do 8 times 8, which is 64. 64 times 2 is 128. My units of measure are not included, so I'm going to use my units of measure will be units. I have to cube this because we are multiplying 3 units to get the volume. Now, I know this is in simplest form, but it's a fraction, so you do have to check and see if this is in simplest form. I know this is in simplest form because 35 and 128 do not share a common factor that I could use to simplify this fraction, so this problem is in simplest form. Alright, the next problem we have over here is calculating a missing dimension when the volume is already given within the problem. So if we look at the problem here, the volume is already given as 200 inches cubed. So we have some dimensions. We have the length, we have the height, we don't have the width. So we're going to calculate the width by inputting just what we see, the dimensions we're given. We're going to input into the original formula with the volume already being replaced with 200, and we're going to follow the procedure of solving an equation by isolating the variable. All right, let's go ahead and write the formula out. V equals length times width times height. Now we're going to substitute for given dimensions. V is now 200. The length is 4. The width we do not know. The height is 10. So 4 times 10 times the width. That's what we're going to calculate. I'll go ahead and continue. 200 equals 40 W. So now we have an equation. It's one step now. We need to go ahead and solve this one-step equation by performing the inverse operation of multiplication, which is division. Divide both sides by 40. This will cancel. We now have W being isolated. 200 divided by 40 is 5. And our units of measure is inches. This is not cubed because we're not finding the total volume. We're finding a missing dimension. So there are 2 types of problems we have here. The first was finding the volume of a rectangular prism. The second was finding a missing dimension that was already given with the volume of 200, in this case, inches cubed. You have to create an equation, and you have to isolate the variable by performing the inverse operation. All right, boys and girls, if you have any questions during class session, please raise your hand and ask. Good job. Have a good one. Bye.